Christopher Columbus and the Americas.
Did Christopher Columbus discover the Americas, or did he encounter them? Welcome to the channel Latin American Studies Clips. In 1492, Columbus arrives in the Caribbean. Many of us learned that Christopher Columbus discovered America, but the reality is that these lands were already home to millions of people. The Americas were filled with peoples and civilizations with their own cultures, knowledge, and cities. In Mesoamerica, the Olmecas were one of the first great civilizations, known as the mother culture of the region. They built large ceremonial centers such as San Lorenzo and La Venta, created enormous colossal stone heads, and developed early writing and mathematics systems. The Maya built cities like Tikal and Palenque, developed advanced systems of writing, mathematics, and astronomy, while the Aztecs founded Tenochtitlan, a metropolis larger than many European cities, with huge markets, impressive temples, and a complex social organization. In the Andean region, the Incas developed a vast empire that spanned mountains and deserts, building roads, agricultural terraces, and fortresses that demonstrated advanced engineering and deep knowledge of the environment. But America was not limited to these great empires. In the Caribbean, in the Amazon, and in other regions of the southern continent, indigenous peoples had systems of social organization, agriculture, trade, and oral tradition that were passed down from generation to generation. Indigenous peoples lived in harmony with the land, cultivated corn, cacao, potatoes, and other foods, and developed medicinal and scientific knowledge that we still recognize today. Columbus did not discover these lands. He arrived at them from Europe. The word discovery only describes his perspective. He found a continent full of life, complex cultures, and structured societies. This was a meeting between two worlds, one that had been living, growing, and developing knowledge for millennia, and another that was just beginning to know it. Some historians prefer to call it an encounter, because it acknowledges that although Europe became aware of these lands, the indigenous peoples already had their own histories, cultures, languages, and systems. Using the word discovery without context erases the presence of these peoples and their legacy. It is more accurate to say that Columbus opened the continent to European trade and colonization, but he did not create or discover the Americas. The history of Latin America began long before 1492, with the Olmecs, Mayans, Aztecs, Incas, Guaraníes, Mapuches, Taínos, Quechuas, Nahuas, and hundreds of other indigenous peoples who built their worlds and cultures. Today, their descendants continue to preserve and celebrate their heritage, their art, their music, their languages, and their traditions, reminding us that the true history of America lies in its original peoples. When someone says that Columbus discovered America, we can respond, he didn't discover it, he encountered them. The Americas were already discovered, inhabited, and lived in by millions of people who had their own societies, knowledge, and territories long before the Europeans arrived. Learning about the indigenous peoples of Latin America allows us to recognize their history, their resilience, and their enormous contribution to the world. Knowing and spreading this truth is part of a deep respect for those who truly made these lands their home.